Well, good evening. Good evening. Welcome to my podcast, Real Talk with Lequita Taylor. I thank God for how He is bringing us up. My team, they're really doing a good job to help and do what we can. God is good. God will open the doors when you think there's no way. God will make a way. So I thank God for all of my guests, and I'm getting even more bigger guests. And so God is really doing some great things with our podcast. So I appreciate all the help and all the different ones that are pouring out and praying for us. Well, my guest that I have this evening, I'm very excited. I've known her, since I was young. I grew up with her son Ramon, and we just have a history. And this woman is really a powerful woman of God with so much, I want to say, education, her spirit, her love for the people. She's known all over the country. A very down to earth. When you look at her, you think, oh, okay, well, I'm scared. Syl is so down to earth. I love her so much. So I want to introduce a powerful woman of God. She's my guest, Dr. Syl Morgan Smith. We're excited. We're going to talk. We're going to have a little fun. We're just going to be real. She's real. I'm real. We all still keeps me going, but I thank God for her. So I'm going to get started. Before I introduce her, though, I just want to read a little of her bio. It's very powerful. And after I do just a little bit, I'm going to turn it over to my sweetie pie. And I'm going to let her talk and kind of tell how she feels. She told me whatever I want to ask her. She's ready. And y'all know, I call her Mama Seal. And you all know she is ready. So let me read just a little bit of this and then I'm going to turn it over. We're going to have questions and we're just going to talk, real talk. So, Dr. Syl Morgan Smith's bio sketch. Dr. Syl Morgan Smith has a unique God-giving set of expertise with successful careers as a graduate nurse, a Denver primetime television news anchor, television talk show host, radio newscaster, radio gospel announcer, newspaper managing editor, Western regional reporter for the National Mutual and National Black Radio Networks, Colorado realtor, owner of Angelic Clothing, and director of public affairs for Rockwell International at the United States Department of Energy, DOE abbreviation, Rocky Flats facility near Boulder, Colorado. Just a little bit more. We're going to go and let her talk. After 30 years plus of service, she retired from Midwest Research Institute that operates DOE's National Renewable Energy Laboratory, NREL. How do you say that?
Israel.
NREL in Golden, Colorado. During her tenure, she held various executive management positions with MRI that included Director of Corporate Communications, Director of Public Relations, and Manager of Communication. I don't even need to go any further because everything that she does is with the spirit of excellence. So at this time, I'm going to introduce my sweetheart, because she's watched me grow up, and just to be sitting here with you, I'm so honored. I'm so honored that you came to be a part with me. You watched me grow, and I just love you so much for that. So, Dr. Syl, will you tell a little bit, go a little bit further, and just kind of be the down to earth person that you are, to introduce for those that don't know you, to introduce who you are and what you have, just a little bit more of what you've accomplished. It's amazing as I'm reading this. Powerful.
Let me say I've accomplished my daughter here.
Mm.
She has a podcast, a big one, not
Mm.
just one or two places, but it's everywhere.
Mhm.
And I am so proud of you
Thank you.
and just unlimited potential that just keeps blossoming.
Mhm.
When you are here, you're aiming there, and you always end up there.
Mhm.
I am so proud of
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
You have always been a dreamer, but an accomplisher.
Thank
I am proud and I am just so excited to be one of your early
you are.
guests
You are.
because, as you said, I have always known you.
You have.
I can't remember a time when I
You
didn't.
have. You have.
And I've always been proud that I've known you.
Thank you.
And you've remained the same. I like it. Character, integrity, beauty,
Oh, bless you.
fashion.
Mm.
You got it all.
Bless
I love you for that. And thank you for always remembering mom.
Yes, you are. You there. You my baby now. Mhm. What you got for me? Come on, let's talk.
Well, I want to tell you I was honored when you invited me to be here, and I'm always helping someone do something. So today, I'd like to tell your vast audience about the Greater Metro Denver Ministerial Alliance. A lot of people hear the word alliance, but they don't have any idea of who they are, what they do, and why they exist. And so I'm happy on their behalf to tell you about that
Okay.
group.
Okay.
And I've been blessed to do things in various atmospheres. I should say forums. I was on the board of directors of the bank that is now Wells Fargo for 19 years. I've been on just about every board you can think about. Children's Hospital, the zoo. I'm just grateful that God has used me. I want to be the best servant because I know it's not about me. I can remember on television when I first started, I would say something and I'd say, and I sure do thank God for that. And I got hate mail for that. They wrote the station and the news director, and they said, "Tell Angie Mama to stop talking about the Lord." And it just tickled me. I said more about him every time I had a chance because I realized nothing that has happened in my life has been my doing. It has always been my father, and I've always wanted to be one of his good little children that he could trust no matter. And I always say, God brought me from the outhouse to his house, the White House, and ultimately I'm going to my heavenly home. I have no fear. When they said to me last year, "You have cancer," I said, "I don't believe you, but just in case, I'll do chemo and radiation. But I'm not leaving here. And I'm not worried, I'm not afraid, because if God does not heal me down here, he will heal me up there. I'm not afraid. If God calls me home right here, right now, I'm good to go because I know it is nothing but the hand of God that is on me always. He's opened doors that exceeded Ephesians 3:20. You know, I will bless you above unto him be glory and honor. He has blessed me above and beyond anything I could think of. Jeremiah 29:11. He has had plans for me from the beginning, and I've been able to prosper and be in good health. And cancer hasn't changed that. I'm still in good health. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So I'm just excited to be here.
You know, when I watched you, I've watched you for like, you've always been strong. You're one of those, even when I was going through cancer, my song was I Won't Complain. No weapons formed against me, and his eyes on the sparrow. But what I watched in you, I've never heard you complain. Even sometime when things were coming your way and a lot of people would just say, "Oh Lord, I'm about to die. I can't take it, Lord. What's going on?"
But you see, to them, death is a scary thing, and to
Yes.
me, it's not.
Yes.
So, hey, if death comes, goody goody, because I know where I'm going.
Exactly.
And I know how my story is going to end. And the idea of complaining, if it would help, I might do it. But when you finish complaining and just, oh, Lordy, whatever the problem was, it remains. You have to pray your way out of some things, trust your way out of some things, shout your way out of some things. You know, Ephesians 4, all things. No, that's Romans 8:28. All things are working together for my good. Ephesians 4:13, I can do all things. His word is in my mouth. He hid it in my heart, my head. So there's no reason for me to be frightened because I know in whom I believed and I'm
Mhm.
persuaded.
Mhm.
I know he's able. And I know that I am here for a purpose. And I know my best days aren't behind me.
Come on.
God still has great work for me to do, and I'm prepared for the journey.
Mhm. When I knew, you have some people that will just say things. You get the people where, oh Lord, God is good, and they act like they love you, but they can't stand you. Go home, they leave church and go and ready to talk about you,
Amen.
whatever. But when you know your relationship with God,
Preach.
you don't have to say a word. I tell people all the time, you don't have to walk with a big sign over your head saying, I know God.
No.
Because it's something about it. When you went through cancer, you in your 80s,
Mhm.
you did chemo, you talked to me.
Yes.
You did chemo and you did radiation.
Drove myself to radiation 6 weeks daily.
Come on with me. I the same thing I went through. And then a lot of people later, they were hurt because they didn't know all that I went through when I was going through cancer.
Interesting enough,
They,
people
ooh,
questioned me. It was like, uh, you count on me. I'm going to keep this a secret. I said, no, you won't. It's my story. This test is my testimony.
mhm,
I want other women to know and men to know. You can go through anything. With God, all things are
mhm,
possible.
mhm,
The impossible, he specializes in it. And I said, And so I was sending out texts to
you are.
60 and 70 people a week saying, this is what happened. Because I wanted them to know cancer is not a boogeyman.
Mhm.
He said I could drink deadly poison, walk on snakes, and nothing would happen. I believe that. And if you have a childlike faith and you literally take God at his word, he's faithful. And I wanted women and men to know you don't have to be afraid just because somebody says cancer. Hey, it's like I told people, I said, for me, it's just like a cold or a flu. I don't care whatever it is because no weapon formed against me
Exactly.
can prosper.
But see, you were powerful, but see, okay, that's fine. You've been on this battlefield a long time. Now, see, I can't stand snakes.
I
So
can't
I
either.
have found, yeah, but what you said, oh, if it's snakes, stand on them, honey.
My
Ah,
children
ooh.
will not believe I even let the word come out of my mouth
Mm,
because I'm fearful of that. But I can do all things. I told you.
you did. I can do something. I can do
No,
something,
no,
not, but
no.
I'm not.
Don't lie on your father.
I'm not, but I
He
mean, I
said
be
you
holding
can do
on.
all
Whew.
things,
Yeah,
and he
well.
can't lie. He made me, he made you, he knows what he has placed in us, and
Mm.
he knows our capability.
Let me ask you this: when you first, you got your different degrees, and you've done so much accomplishing, but being in social media, being you a beautiful black woman, and all the different TV stations, and I know they always say we have haters, we do, but how did you, a woman of class, 'cause you used to, oh man, you would dress, you just on that TV was like, wow, look at Syl. 'Cause my mother and everybody
Sure.
jumping off the cliff and
Sure.
everything. But how was it where you're going, doing what you're having to do, doing your job, but yet as you walk by this snarl, who does she think she is? Or jogging you behind your back. How did you handle that? Because I've been in those situations where it's like, okay, the old me, I'm gonna whip you, but the God in me now, I've learned to sit back and be quiet and let God handle what He's going to handle. How did you go through all of that and still come out powerful without knowing you were being persecuted by people? How did you?
They didn't make me. My destiny is in the hand of God.
Mhm.
And I pity people who are haters.
Mhm.
They're little people thinking little thoughts in a little room. They're pitiful. I'm too busy
Mhm.
to be concerned about haters. And they don't know it, but they really help me.
Mhm.
My haters only inspire me to go further and stay longer.
Mhm.
The idea that you hate me, it tells me you have real problems. I don't.
Mhm.
And I know anything God brings me to, he will get me through.
Mhm.
And that includes hateful people. He said, "Don't fret yourself because of evildoers. They're going to get cut down real quick."
Mhm.
So, pardon me,
Mhm.
it just doesn't matter to me. And at the time I began on television, we got there because of protests. A lot of other people don't want to tell this, but we were allowed to get into anchor positions that the TV stations didn't just open their doors and say, "Oh, there you are. We've been looking for you." No, the NAACP, the Ministerial Alliance, the Urban League, they all got together and said, either we see ourselves on those TV or we will not support your sponsors. That's how they changed the game. And now today, I look and I'm amazed. Often I see two people looking like me doing the news, and the quality and the quantity. I'm so thrilled. But I'm not embarrassed to say it took some people taken to the street to integrate Denver media, because I started an organization called Colorado Blacks in Media. And I had people who said to me, "I am black. I mean, I may be black, but I'm not a black reporter." And I said, somebody paid a price. That was a grandmother somewhere who had no intent or desire or hope of getting on television, but knew the value of it. Because if we cannot be in the media to tell our story and to reflect our culture, we are lost. We don't exist. And so the fact that there were people who marched to say, we want to see black faces on Denver television. And the idea that I ended up at that anchor desk, it was not my education. It was not my cuteness. It was none of the above. But it was the prayers of the righteous and the persistence of the community here that said, "Oh, yeah, you're going to put them on, or we're not going to support a sponsor of yours." And I didn't know what cable was at the time when I was first hired. Well, first of all, I began in radio. And sometime I'll tell you that story. I was doing radio 6 days a week, Sunday through Friday. Monday through Friday, I was on 6 to 9 in drive time, and Sundays I was on 6 till noon. But it was interesting when I was doing radio and I got the call that said, "Okay, Channel 2 is hiring. We need you to get over there right away." I had a moo on because I was doing radio. And radio, nobody knew what you looked like. And I said, "Oh, no, I can't." They said, "We've been demanding." And now they said, "Fine," this morning. And I lived in Thornton at the time, so I couldn't go home and change my clothes. I in my moo and I didn't have makeup with me or anything. I went over to Channel 2. I said, "Okay, you're part of the problem or part of the solution." So I went over, I followed through, and I got there a man by the name of Max Robinson. He he was the one that led the country in dealing with apartheid. He was well known for that. Carol Simpson, the great CBS anchor, was there, and there were a lot of other people there. And they didn't look, I mean, I said, "Oh my God, look at these high class, well trained anchors who are here applying for this job." And I'm sitting here in a moo. And I wanted to say that tonight so that your audience will know with God, all things are possible. I had never heard of the name Jesus for Latinos. So I said Jesus, and I still got the job. And the news director said, "Why do you think I should hire you?" I said, "One, I'm local. You don't have to pay moving expenses to get me here."
Okay.
I said, "And two, I've been doing radio." I said, "Not only that, I have lived in this community. I know this
Mhm.
community. They don't.
Mm-hmm.
I said, and I will come with an audience.
Mm-hmm.
They won't.
Okay.
He said,
Okay.
I said, and talking about your bottom line, I will save you money because you can hire me cheaper, I know, than anyone out there in that room. He said, you make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Channel 2 at the time was owned by the Chicago Tribune.
Okay.
KWGN, world's greatest newspaper,
Mm-hmm.
is what that stood for. And I got the job in a moo-moo,
Man.
no makeup. But I'm telling you, when God is for you,
Come on.
that's why I say I don't concern myself with haters because no one can stop me whom God picks.
Mm-hmm.
If God selects you, he will equip you.
Mm-hmm.
And whether you start out behind the crowd or not, it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Mm-hmm.
I was good at radio, but to be in front of the camera and when I'm not prepared, I didn't have even the correct clothing.
Were you nervous at all?
No,
Okay.
because I just figured either they'll hire me or they won't. What's the worst thing can happen? I don't get the job, but I still have the job I already had in radio.
Mm-hmm.
And I tend to live that way today. I always say, what's the worst thing that can happen to me? And I will go to the extreme worst.
Mm-hmm.
And my family always say, why do you have to go to that length? Because it helps me to put things in perspective.
Yeah.
See, when they said to me, you have cancer, I said, I don't believe you, but I do know cancer is treatable.
Mm-hmm.
I always see the good. I'm looking for, I tell the story often of two little children. One on Christmas morning, they put him in a room that was just filled with 100 presents. The other child they put in a room and it was filled with manure. They came back 30 minutes later, and the little boy in the room with the manure, he was just smiling, while the child in the room with the 100 presents, he was crying. The batteries had gone out, and the horse wouldn't work, and the doll didn't sing. But the child in the room full of manure, he says, I know there's a pony in here somewhere. So it didn't,
That is cute.
I've learned in life, there's always a pony.
Yes,
There's a bright side somewhere. You remember that song? It just keep on keeping on. There's a bright side. And as I say, if you don't give up, God will show up. And then he will show out. And he said, I will make your enemies your footstool. Go ahead and hate me. Help me get another promotion. Because that's where my blessings come from. Because God is going to raise me up every time just to show a hater. That's my child. And I am more than enough for her.
Yeah, and that's true, and that's why I tell people if you listen, people with wisdom, I love to hear. A lot of people don't have time, and you get those tidbits and those parables and the different things that they say. And when you were talking about the different snakes, so my grandmother was like that. She would always tell me things. And this, when you talk about haters, I go back to that because it's an old story that a preacher used to say years ago. They still say it. And there was this man, he was walking down the street and he seen a snake on the sidewalk. And the snake was frozen. He was almost frozen to death. So the man looks down and he said, "Oh, little snake."
No, he didn't.
Yes, he said, "Oh, snake." He said, "Oh my goodness, you're frozen." He goes to pick him up. Woo, come on. He goes to pick him up and he puts him in his bosom. So he's putting him in his bosom, the love of caring for somebody, not knowing he was a snake, but not realizing because his care was for that snake.
But he knew it was a snake.
He did.
It's on him.
It did. And
That
when
snake had a snake's nature.
honey, come on. So when the snake thawed out, the snake bit him.
Yes.
And he said, "Little snake, why did you bite me? I rescued you."
That's my job.
I did. He said, "You knew I was a snake when you picked me up."
See?
So when I hear you say about the feedback that we've all gone through, and more so in your time, I just know the hatred was just unreal. And so with that, even with your demeanor, it's all right.
because God's got me. Snake can bite me, do whatever, because I know God has me. You have proved that in your life over and over and over. Anyone that wants to give up, all they have to do is be around you a little bit. Well, I go back to those times. And as you say, when we're bitten by haters, we knew they were haters. Yeah, you're right. And we did it anyway. God did not create us of foolishness, but he gave us a sound mind. Mm-hmm. We knew better. And then we are alarmed when we are bitten. Mm-hmm. But you knew. I think about the fact that Renelda Muse, mm-hmm. she was first over at Channel 4. Mm-hmm. And right. Renelda had, we're talking about in the early days when the afro was very, very popular, and Renelda, gorgeous woman, gorgeous hair, but she put her hair in pong, parted down the middle, and had a African puff on each side. It was her own hair, and they complained about that. And I said, well, in solidarity, I went out and bought me some African puffs and tacked them on the side of my head in solidarity with my sister. And they said, would you all get Angie Mama off that TV? I didn't know what cable was. Channel 2 was and still is seen in 8 states. I didn't know that. We were seen in western Kansas and Nebraska. We were seen in both North and South Dakota. We were seen in Salt Lake City, down into New Mexico, as well as Colorado. I didn't know what cable was. Bill Daniels had done that. And so I was getting hate mail from people outside of Colorado. I thought, doggone, they must have seen me when they were visiting here. I didn't realize every day they were looking at me. And it was get Angie Mama off that TV with that crazy hair. And I say to myself today, we've come so far, and yet we haven't come far enough, because once again, they're complaining about the Black person's hair. But life is interesting, and it's not for the faint of heart. Either you make up your mind that you're going to go all the way with God, and you believe that all things are possible, and like you have childlike faith. I don't trust you, but I trust God. Okay. And I know wherever I am, he knows I'm there. Yes. And I'm never alone. So I literally believe that. And I'm always excited about the new challenge and the new blessings and the new benefits. And and I think one of my secret sauces is I am so thankful for the successes of others. See, I couldn't be more delighted than to be sitting here with you on your podcast. You've gone from radio now to a podcast. I'm going to look up and you're going to be in Hollywood. And I'm going to say, come on, let me get over there too. Because I'm happy to be a part of your success, because it reminds me it is no secret what God can do. If he does it for you, he'll do it for me too. And that's why I have really been successful. There are very few things that I've wanted to do that God has not allowed me to do. I visited every continent except Antarctica. I've been to South America, Brazil, Venezuela. Glad I'm not there now, since my president doesn't like that place and all that military stuff out there about to attack them, perhaps. I don't know. But back to the fact that all over Europe, I've been there. I've been to Russia. God has blessed me. And I think of the fact, this little lump of sugar, dark, going up the Great Walls of China, able to be in Hong Kong, Saigon, all over Tokyo, Japan. I've been everywhere. Song says, I've been everywhere. And that's to the glory of God. But I asked him to take me. And I started packing because I got my passport in order, because I knew he was going to answer. See, you can't pray for rain and you don't have an umbrella.
Come on.
So
That's a little snippets of
love
those
God
snippets.
and the way he manages my life. And I'll never forget, no weapon. And no means no. That's all inclusive.
Boy, that's powerful. Now, in your traveling, is there one place that you were like, Lord, why did I even come here? Have you been in a couple of places where I'm traveling like, what was I doing up in here? It was just crazy.
Yes.
Give me an incident.
Many places I've gone because I was alone. Many of those places. I went to a place in Africa
Mm-hmm.
and I had not read up on it. And it taught me a lesson.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to go to some place, do your homework so you know what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Sudan back in the 70s
Okay.
and I had no idea what to expect and I was not prepared. I didn't have the right clothes. I didn't have a list of what I wanted to see.
Mm-hmm.
I just landed in Sudan
Okay.
and it's like, now what? But then later on, I learned. And I learned not just necessarily from books, but I learned through the experiences of others.
Mm-hmm.
And so I like later when I showed up in Dubai, let's go. I'm
Okay.
good to go.
Okay. Okay.
And wherever I go now, I'm ready because I understand
Mm-hmm.
that Americans, we're the dumbest travelers often.
Mm-hmm.
We think everywhere we go that we know more than the people in their own country. And I now know better. Other people have their pride, their culture. I'm a guest in their land.
Yeah.
So I now know I'm a seasoned traveler.
Okay.
You can drop me anywhere now and I can survive it.
No, that's right. Boy, I got this. Boy, this is, I mean, boy, you just have so much knowledge. And, even when I tell people, I said, if you have elderly in your family, some folks don't want to have time. Oh, I don't want to hear about all that old stuff. But you don't know when that last person of that generation of that history is gone.
Right.
And you never took time to ask, well, how was my grandmother? Was she a slave? Or what did she do? Or I need to know so that I can tell my children. I need to know back then how was it. But people don't have time anymore. I'm so glad that I got with my grandmother and, even with my mother and the different ones because it's history. And I tell people, don't put it aside because when they're gone, that last group of the elderly, the ones that knew, if you don't get it, it's over.
If you don't know history, you're going to buy his story.
Mm-hmm. Come
And
on.
his
Come
story
on.
is not my history.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a native of Birmingham, Alabama. I've seen segregation, police dogs, and fire hoses up close.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand that the freedoms we have today, and sure, America's not everything I want it to be, but in all my travels,
Mm-hmm.
it's the best I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
America is a work in progress,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to take our rightful place in being educators of the uninformed. People often are doing the best they can based on what they know.
Mm-hmm.
And their ignorance comes from generation after generation of not knowing.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bible says, Beloved, I would that you not be ignorant.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a responsibility to tell our stories. Like I say, I have no problem reminding brown and black people who are on television today, it didn't just happen.
Mm-hmm.
No one just set out the welcome mat and say, oh, by golly, I'm glad you're here. Didn't happen that way.
Mm-hmm.
I think of people, Cesar Chavez and all the others, and I worked with Paco Sanchez. A lot of people did a lot of work
Mm-hmm.
to open the doors that we now walk through and we now take for granted. And it's on us to make sure the great grandbabies know. We sing that song, How I Got Over.
Yeah.
My soul looks back and wonder how I
Mhm.
got over. We arrived on the prayers of folks who had blooded knees to get us to where we are and to have what we have today. And we need to treasure that,
Mhm.
and we need to be able to pass it on. There is no shame in my game. I got
No,
here the
no,
hard way,
no.
but to God be the glory for it all. And no matter what success God sends my way, I'm never leaving God or the church.
Mhm.
I missed one Sunday going through chemo, breast surgery, radiation. I would go to church and sit off to myself with my mask on.
Mhm.
But I missed one Sunday. I had my major breast surgery on a Thursday, and the surgeon told me, do not leave your house.
Mhm.
You're not ready to be in the midst of
Mhm.
others. It's dangerous.
Mhm.
Now, I'm not stupid. I'm just
Mhm.
saved.
Exactly. Exactly.
But I understood, so I stayed home that Sunday. But I I just know with God all things are possible.
Yeah.
And I see people say, I can't go to church because I'm tired. I worked all week. Well, where did you
Mhm.
get that job? Who gave it to you?
That's true.
You know.
That's
So
true.
whatever happens to me, it's God first. And I'm blessed to be an ordained deacon at New Hope Baptist
Oh yeah,
Church.
you're good.
And I mentioned to you earlier about the Greater Metro Denver Ministerial Alliance.
Mhm.
They're
Yeah.
doing big things.
And I wanted to bring that up because as I was looking up, you had this huge bio of you, so much that you've accomplished. And if you ain't proud for yourself, honey, shame on you. So I tell people, my husband always says it's a poor dog that don't wag his tail.
And poor
So,
frog won't croak on his own pond.
oh, that's cute. I love
Oh,
frogs.
colloquialisms, I've got 1,000 of them because you've known me forever, but you don't really know. I was not raised by my parents.
Mhm.
They both left when I was 8 months old and they never returned for me. At age 35, I flew them both to Colorado. I said, I've got 4 children. They need grandparents. Are you
Come
interested
on.
in the job? Because if not, I'm going to go out and get me some. And you may remember Mama Russell. I
Yes.
mean, the women of the church, they were always there for me, the mothers, when my mother and my father, not just my mom, my dad wasn't there either. But the women of the church, they always took care of me. They always made sure I was all right. And I was raised by my father's paternal aunt. His mother died when he was 13. He never knew his father. So he didn't know how to be a father. And his mother died when he was 13, and her sister took him, and she later raised me.
Mhm.
And she lived with me in Nebraska till I came here to Denver in 1968. God has always had a way out for me. If the door was closed, he found a window. He didn't find, he created a window for me. But my parents didn't raise me, so I know what it's like to be the odd one out. When I visited my mother, and I was visiting my mother, I was a guest and a visitor in her house in my sister's room. I
Mhm.
didn't have my own room until I was married and had a child. So my background is one of great poverty.
Mm.
2 new dresses a year,
Mm.
1 pair of shoes new a year. My old pair became my school shoes, and the new pair became my Sunday shoes.
Mm.
I had to wear a dress Monday, Tuesday. Then I could switch over Thursday and Friday. And my friends weren't dressing like that. But I learned if you trust and never doubt, God will bring you out. And that's why I say he bought me
Mhm.
literally from the outhouse. We were the last house in the community to have running water, to have a television. We were the last ones. She loved me with all her heart, but she didn't have any money. She didn't have
Mm.
more than a second grade education. And her husband died. She was a widow. But she gave me the best she had,
Mhm.
but she didn't have anything. So I learned that little becomes much if you just put it in God's hand.
Mhm.
And He says, I will raise you up
Mhm.
and nobody can pull you back down. So my life has been rough, and that's why I have the heart of a servant.
Mhm.
I don't know anything else. Mama Hattie that raised me, she taught me that if you're blessed
Mhm.
when you can give. Don't always run around with your hand out.
Mhm.
Look for ways to give.
Mhm.
She was a caregiver in the whole family, and I grew up with that. So I'm a nurturer. I show up at the hospital now. I mean, I don't know how to do anything else.
Mhm. You're a nurturer. But I want to ask you this. When they left, you were 8 months old. And when you went and lived with the other people, were they mean to you or
No,
they
they left
care?
me with he
Them after they left you, the people that took care of you, were
right.
they
It
mean to you?
no. As I said, she did the very best. She just didn't have anything. And they left me at her house.
Mhm.
When my parents got married, my mother was 5 months pregnant with me.
Okay. Okay.
And so they moved into Auntie's house, his aunt's house. And when I was 8 months old, they both got up and left me with that aunt. And she loved me with all her heart.
Mhm.
She did not have children of her own.
Okay. Okay.
So she didn't know everything that, of how to nurture a child. She knew how to make sure I was fed, how not to be hungry.
Mhm.
Now, she would cook a pot of pinto beans and ham hocks. We ate the pinto beans today and the ham hocks tomorrow. Or if it was a pot of greens, we ate the greens today and the meat tomorrow. She had very little, but she did her best
Mhm.
for me.
Mhm.
She treated me
Yeah.
like a grown woman, and I guess that's why I've been willing to try new adventures because I never learned to be afraid. I never learned to not have big dreams because I didn't have sisters and brothers in the house to play with. I didn't have toys to play with because you couldn't afford it. For Christmas, I got 4 apples, 4 oranges, some candy. That's all she could do.
Mm.
But she taught me about the Lord.
Mhm.
And because of her taking me to church, as you know, back in the day,
Mhm.
girl here could sing.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I started singing in church at 3. My first song, My Life Will Be Sweeter Someday. I'll
Sing it a
never
little
forget
bit.
it.
Go ahead. Let me hear it.
I told you back in the day I could
You
sing.
can sing.
No, I cannot sing today.
Mm.
But that song says, My life will be sweeter.
I've heard
Someday.
that. It's been a long
Yeah,
time, but that is such a
it's all
moving song. It really is.
you know, if you're in your 80s and you sang that at 3, there you go. That's an old song. But
Mhm.
I'm grateful while I can't sing, I have 4 children that can.
Oh, yes, Lord. They
So
can.
I developed polyps on my throat, and the doctor said, we may, if all goes well, no problem. And I was on television anchoring at the time. He says, but there are dangers.
Mhm.
And so I said, never mind. I've been able to sing before 50,000 people at the National Baptist Convention and Congress.
Mhm.
I sang with Aretha Franklin's father, Reverend
Mhm.
C.L. Franklin. So, and I used to sing, go to, I think it's Glorietta with the American Baptist Convention.
Mhm.
So God has blessed me. I sang in Israel. I've been blessed.
Man.
So, as opposed to saying, oh my God, I can't sing anymore. I say, thank God I did sing. Some people, born and die, never could hit a note, and I could hit them all.
Mhm.
And if the anointing of God falls on me, I can still hit one.
Mhm.
But without the anointing, it's just not there anymore. It's a struggle. But I'm glad I'm breathing, honey.
I know. I
So,
know.
see, you, and besides, I don't need to sing. You do that. That's your turn.
I did.
And you do it well.
Honey, it's just watching you, an elderly. I'm one of those, I love to sit down with women of class. Me and Miss Kirk were very close when I worked for her.
She left me her hats.
Oh my goodness, that lady,
Yes.
boy, she'd walk into a room. And it's amazing when you said when you have dreams. I remember when I was coming up, my mother and all them back in the day, they would
Sure.
go, a lot of their friends get killed, and we'd go to Kirk Mortuary on Marion
Sure.
Street. And you would see all the different things. And I remember when we would go and I look at different things, and I didn't know that wasn't. I would be nosy with my mother, would be seeing, oh, what happened to her, how
Right.
she died, because that was the thing in
Sure.
the East Side. And when I went on and I was doing that, and I used to see Miss Kirk, and I go to the
Ruby
funerals.
Kirk, for those that
Ruby
don't
Kirk.
know.
And I used to see her, and I used to go, and it was a look. And I'm going to tell you how you don't know how your life will turn when God's in the mix. I used to watch her. She had that cat cock to the side.
Classy.
She had her diamonds, and she had her nails was done way back then. And she would walk, and she wear that navy. Our colors when I worked at Kirk was blue. She loved blue and gray. And I would go, and I would see the people when she walk in. There's Miss Kirk.
Right.
Oh, there's Miss Kirk. She's over there. And I used to look at her. She reminded me of a Lena
Classy.
Horne.
Classy.
When I got older, did not know that doing funeral services would be my passion,
Yes.
my career, because that's who I am. But now when I walk into a room, and people get things twisted being somewhat cocky or whatever. No, it's being humble. But I thank God for the women like you, Miss Kirk, the different ones. When I was just standing back, that girl checking. One day, I want to be like her. I didn't want to be her. But the same thing. She'll go, I go sometime, I don't have to work a funeral, and I'll go and sit by that wife and bring her comfort
Sure.
because that's who I am. So I said that watching you, that's who you are. And when you be, as my Pastor Burleson says, be who you is, not who you ain't.
Who you ain't.
No. And I thank God for that because who I am today. I tell you, just like you walk in, there's Mama Syl, there's Dr. Syl. You gonna have on something, you gonna represent or whatever.
Well, though often people think, why is she putting on all of that? Like I say, you don't know my story.
Come on.
When I was a little girl, and I'm talking about up to 13 years old, I had to wear the same dress 2 days consecutively. Like I said, I wore it Monday and Tuesday. Then I could change it the other one Thursday, Friday. And then Monday, Tuesday, then Wednesday and Thursday. And the dress I wore Friday, I had to wear it back to school Monday. And the other girls weren't dressing like that. So I said, Lord, when I grow up, I'm going to have a dress that I can change 3 times a day if I want to. I said, Lord, that's what I want to do. God is faithful. He made sure I can do that. And so I'm not, and someone said to me, well, now we don't dress up to go to church. Good for you.
Come on.
But God bless me.
Come on.
Where I know what it was like not to have dresses. And now that He has given them to me, don't you know I'm going to wear my best to His house? I'm not going to the club in my best. I guess I'm not really going to the club anyway. But my best belongs to God because it came from Him. And no, honey, I love to get dressed up and go to church. It's not to show off. It's to show the goodness of God.
Okay.
Somebody said to me, well, what's with all the diamonds and all that stuff? God gave it to me. Why would I dress down and go to church in a pair of jeans to make someone else feel comfortable? No, you wear what God gave you. I'm wearing what God gave me. And we all serving the same God. And it's really not about what either of us is wearing.
No,
It's
not.
what's in our heart.
It is.
I could have jeans on backwards and be the biggest liar, hater, hypocrite, run into hell in a 747. Doesn't matter because I'm dressed holy. And what is that anyway?
Come on. Because a whole lot of them, being in the funeral business, I grew up in Church of God in Christ, and I was talking to Tarson. We were talking about growing up and everything. And how in Church of God in Christ it was rough and we was on some strict rule, but I was gonna do what I
My
wanted to
mother
do.
was always Church of God in Christ, so I know all about it.
Ooh, and you
And my
talking
father
about
was
come on,
Baptist, so
come
that's
on,
why I was raised in the Baptist
come
church.
on.
But I know all about Koji. I know how the ladies had the greasy face. You couldn't wear lipstick or makeup. See, I
No.
know way before you do. And my mother had her legs just as greasy with Vaseline when I would visit.
Well, remember them stockings? They used to wear them, and they put the little knot on the knee, and it was all
Yeah,
that was
they
they
rolled
thought
it up
that
at
was
the knee, and as I say, they thought they were being godly. And I said,
my grandmother was
Mama,
like that.
and when I went to my mother's church, I said, Mom, why do the men here look like men at the Baptist church? And you all look like you still living on a plantation. I got up off the other side of the bed because that's where she slapped me. She gave me one of those backhand licks. Girl, you're going to go to hell asking stupid questions
Well,
like
they
that.
didn't
But
play.
now, look at the women in Koji.
I know.
Fine and fabulous.
Yeah, they are.
All of that greasy face, and you can't get your hair did. That's what they say, I'm going to get my hair did. No, you can't get your hair done because you got to be holy. You aren't holy because that nappy hair and you looking all silly. Who wants to serve a God that keeps you looking like you just got off the plantation? And my mother said, but you don't understand. This is what holiness look like.
Yeah.
But I said, well, why did the men have on suits and ties and alligator shoes like every other man?
Because it's always been different. It's just been different. But this is where I am. I tell women, you have to love you.
Absolutely.
However, what you have and what you're doing, when you love you, can't no man just talk. Oh, he may talk crazy or whatever, but he can't really go there when you love yourself. You will check a brother. I almost said something else.
I know. But it's like the word says, they have a zeal, but not according to knowledge. They really thought makeup made you a sinner.
I know.
And the only woman they wanted to talk about was Jezebel. Well, how about Esther? And the Queen of Sheba?
Come on, bring it.
Queen of Sheba was looking mighty fine. Esther, mighty fine. But no, if you got on lipstick, you going to hell. Your face can be greasy. Your face can be just shining where they can see you in space.
Like greasy money. Okay.
But if you don't have God in your heart,
come on,
you going to hell.
Come on.
Your outer appearance does not impress God.
No, it doesn't. And that's why I say it's as you said, I say it all the time. It's not how you start. You may have started out running the streets, being a whole different thing, no respect for yourself, no respect for nobody, don't care about your kids, anything, but then God has a way to turn it around. That very woman that was beating her kids and running the streets, God can make it happen when you trust in him. So I'm one of those, it's not what you say with your mouth. It's what you say with your heart.
Absolutely.
And so that's what I'm about. It's about I've been through a lot, but yet God has kept me.
And your best days are yet to come. You have no idea what God still has ahead of you. Because he says, if I can trust you with little things,
Come on.
if you've been faithful over little, he will make you ruler over much.
He will.
And the hellhounds can't touch you. So no, I don't worry about it because I know in whom I believed. And I know what he is doing for me. And I didn't say past tense.
Come on.
He is doing for me.
Now, what I want to do, you've been in so many things, but the best that I know, you've been in a lot, but the Academy, Gospel Academy Award, that is so moving. I know it has to be a lot. You get, who is it? They have to nominate you or something, and then y'all have to go through your team, putting it all together and everything. Has that been really rewarding to you?
Yes, because to whom much is given, much is required. It began, I was on the radio, and in 1971, some people came to me and said, for a year because, being in radio yourself, this happens. See, I was live. My program was not recorded, and I was on every day, 6 to 9, and on Sundays, 6 to noon.
Mhm.
And I would get calls at the last minute.
Mm.
And I advertised if you had a baby shower, if you had a barbecue, I didn't care. The airways, they didn't belong to me.
Mhm.
I was there to talk about what my community was doing
Mhm.
and to do my best to perpetuate it.
Mhm.
And so I would be talking about what people were going to do, reverend, and I knew every reverend in town, and they did not have to pay.
Mhm.
And my mentor was Cosmo Freeman Harris,
Oh yeah.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
Dippin'
Yeah.
that's now being published by his widow, Lenore Alexander Harris,
Uh-huh.
but not B. Harris, Lenore.
Mhm.
And so they both are great women with great publications.
Mhm.
But Cosmo took me under his wing. And see, I grew up wanting to be Lena Horne and Dorothy
I could see
Dandridge.
that.
But like I say, my family was like, think Mahalia Jackson. Because you can sing, but you can lie in a song as well as you can lie in what you sing.
Okay.
You're not going to be on the stage like a floozy acting and carrying on.
Uh-huh.
So think about Mahalia Jackson. What I thought about Mahalia Jackson, love her, awesome woman, powerful woman, saved woman. But she was eating on a hot plate in those hotels. And I had in mind being at the Wilshire Hotel. And I'm 5 and 6.
Mhm.
But I know that's where I belong.
Mhm.
No. I'm not going to be in some back room in a small colored hotel with a hot plate. I'm going to be in Hollywood.
You outspoken like me, Lord. Keep
And
going.
so, as I say, my family did not, it was like, Lord, help that child.
Mhm.
Help her bring her mind down to earth
Mhm.
because that girl is living in the clouds. Because, don't forget, segregation was at its height
Yeah.
at that time. They were still lynching people. And so,
Did
my
you ever see
family,
someone
I never,
hanging?
I never saw anyone hanging, but I have been to places where hanging had occurred.
Mhm.
And Mama Hattie took
Mhm.
me where she was born in the country in
Okay.
Alabama. She said,
Okay.
baby, right there, they hung Mr. So-and-so. And I had that history given to me.
Mhm. Mhm.
But I'm saying it was a matter where I had nothing. I had no toys. I didn't have toys. I didn't have siblings. And she was a widow. So there wasn't even a man in the house. All I had were my dreams
Hmm.
and my books.
Hmm.
So I lived in the clouds, as they said.
Okay.
So I studied hard. I was a straight A student because I was taught that education was the key. But I learned now education without God still doesn't
Mhm.
work.
Mhm.
But I made up my mind that I'm going to be somebody.
Mhm.
And my family, my dreams were beyond their
Mhm.
vision
Mhm.
because of the time that I was born.
Mhm.
But I always knew, it's like the slave said, up above my head,
Mhm.
I hear music.
Yeah.
And I know
Yep.
there must be
Hmm.
a God somewhere. And so that propelled me. And God always put godly women
Mhm.
in my life to help me and to nourish my dreams. And that's why at 35, when I brought both of my parents to Colorado, I said, I have these children, they need grandparents. You didn't parent me. And that's
Okay.
okay, because I'm fine. But are you interested in being a grandparent to these children? Because if not, there were women here like Mama Russell
Mhm.
and others in this city,
Mhm.
Deacon Esther Nash.
Mhm.
I said, I'm going to give my children some grandparents because I grew up without them. I never had grandparents.
How did they react to you when you asked them? Are you ready to
I
be
They
grandparent?
didn't know. I paid for an airline ticket for both of them.
Okay.
And that was in the days before 9/11. You could buy a ticket
Mhm.
and send it to someone.
Mhm.
And so they got here not knowing the other one would be here.
Okay.
And I
Okay.
picked them up And at that time, I was living in Lakewood. And they were shocked to see each other. And she arrived on a plane and she was like, let's go get my luggage. And I said, okay. And what she didn't realize is I'm waiting on dad to arrive.
Okay, okay.
And I took them to my house. And over dinner, I said, I know, Mom, you were pregnant with me as a teenager. I know what that's like because I repeated the behavior. I wasn't raised by you, but still I wanted to be with the other kids and I wanted to get out there and do what they were doing. And so the first chance I got out there on a high school play night, the night where we did the high school production. And when that production was over, I got with a boy and did what I should not have been doing. But nature took its course, and 7.5 months later, I had a baby. Her name is Shavashanti Maxie. And
so what you was doing, you had got away. You said, well, you was doing the goosey girl until you...
I was doing the bad girl.
Oh, girl.
I was doing what grown
We all
folks
been
do.
there, don't
Yeah.
they?
But a lot of
Anybody
people-
lying now, stop playing. We ain't been
Lot of
perfect
people-
now.
Well,
Tell the truth,
and
shame
so
the devil.
when I went across, and because I was smart, my stepmother had been a school teacher. I knew the first and second grade backwards before they let me in the classroom.
Okay.
And I drove my teacher crazy
Okay.
because my hand was always up in there. Sylvia, put your hand down. Because I knew all of that. And so Mama had always would tell people, she's a smart little girl. And
you say little gal.
yeah. No, she called me a little girl. She's smart little girl. And she said, and she not scared of the red-haired devil. That was what she used to always say about me. But that was because I was being raised by a woman who was 65 when I was born.
Oh, yeah.
And so, I had old woman ways because there were no children there. And so as a result of that, I grew up. And boy, did I grow up. I grew up too fast because when I graduated high school, I was 6 months pregnant.
Okay.
And so, and by that, and in those days, my friends, my classmates, their mothers did not allow them to fraternize with me anymore. It was like I had leprosy. No one. And the boy, he didn't want to get married. He wasn't trying to be engaged. He was just trying to do what little boys do. And sad for him, I was as fertile as a bunny. And the problem was, I ended up pregnant, and his parents, my mother took me to his parents' house. My mother, who had a child before me, and still had me as a teenager.
Okay.
But when I got pregnant, no understanding whatsoever.
Yeah.
She treated me the way her mother treated her. So I got no mercy, no grace. And they took me over to the boy's house. She took me to a doctor on Friday, told him, don't tell me. And I didn't know I was pregnant. And because, the boy told me, if we stand up, nothing can happen. I didn't know any better. So
so I love a boy, that country stuff.
Honey, I'm a little country girl. I want to be popular like the other girls. And so when he told me that, okay, I wanted to be popular and I wanted a boyfriend too. I didn't have one. I got a boyfriend and a baby. Yes, he was. Look at Siobhan. What he looked like.
Go tell it.
Oh,
girl.
yeah,
That's what I'm
honey.
talking about.
He was cute, the most popular boy in school.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay, so let me ask you this. How with him, you kind of shy? Well, you're outspoken. I mean, you outspoken. And then you're meeting this young man and stuff, and were you shy?
I
or did
known
ya-
him all along.
Oh, so y'all just, after a while, he look at you and whatever, let's
He
do
was
this.
the best dancer in school.
Okay.
And I was the best singer.
Okay.
So
Perfect
in the
combination.
production, every year they had school play. And it was our big extravaganza. So I was the leading girl and he was the leading boy.
Okay.
He was as popular as the day was long. Nobody was talking to me. I could sing, but when the singing stopped, the little boys left me and went to the girls that had the lumps and the bumps in the right place. And nobody was looking at me. I was built like that.
But I know you were pretty.
No,
Yes, you were.
because I didn't have anybody to help me.
Oh, I
So I didn't know how to put makeup on.
Yeah.
I had this head full of long hair, but nappy, kinky, comby, hurty. And, Mama Hattie wasn't sending me to any beauty salon. She was trying to press my hair, and my ears were burnt everywhere. My neck was burned from the straightening comb.
Well, try not to laugh, because I can just visualize. I'm
Oh,
sitting
honey.
here listening
So
to
I'm
you.
saying I had a hard childhood. She loved me, but it was rough.
She did not.
And so when this boy, who was the king of the boys in school, talked to me all sweet, that during our rehearsals, we rehearsed for 6 weeks, and he was plotting all along. He knew what was going to happen the night of the play
Okay.
because he gave me a ride home.
Okay.
And my mother worked nights.
Oh, bingo.
And
Okay.
he took me home. Boy, did he take me home. So this is what the conversation has been like about. Woo, this ain't bad. And it never dawned on me that I was pregnant. One time, and we were standing up. So I believed it. And so I started getting lightheaded, and I just never dawned on me I was pregnant. And the doctor told me, yeah, you're anemic, and I'm going to call your mother, and we're going to get you some iron. He was lying to me because my mother had told him, don't tell me. Now, see, today, HIPAA wouldn't allow that.
Okay.
But back in those days, children had no rights. And so I went home just happy as I could be. And she met me at the door and with a closed fist. You little fast heifer. Bam! And I was like, what? What's going on? She said, you done got pregnant. Whose is it? And I mean, girls today have no idea what it was like. Back then, if you came up pregnant, they marched me down the center aisle of the church. And I had to stand there and tell the whole church I had sinned and I was sorry.
I got pregnant, and Michael, I wasn't married.
But I'll bet you didn't go down front, and your mother probably didn't allow it to happen.
No.
The boys in those days, they never had to apologize. The church in those days acts like I was the Virgin Mary. I had been impregnated by an alien from another planet because he didn't have to go. So they made me apologize. But my mother immediately on that Friday, she said, who is it? And I said, well, I've only had sex one time, so there's no doubt in my mind.
Outspoken. And so that's what you told her.
Well, no, I said, I don't know.
Yeah,
And
I knowing you probably said,
she piled me again. She said, are you trying to tell me you've been sleeping around?
you kept getting in trouble. What you was
no, ma'am, no, ma'am, no, ma'am. She said, then whose is it? And I said, who it was. And she said, we're going over there. She said, what's the number? And I gave her the number, and she called the boy's mother that night. Told him, your boy got my girl pregnant.
Oh, yes.
And so they said, come on over. So Sunday after church, we go over there. Now I found out I'm pregnant on Friday. We go over there Sunday afternoon. And I got married Memorial Day, Tuesday. That quickly. And I graduated in June.
Okay.
But I was a married woman. And the other girls could not talk to me. And when things started breaking and going wonderful for me, they reached out to me, and I forgave them, but I just didn't have the same thoughts. It's like, I used to do your homework and mine just so you would like me, just so you'd like me. And the moment I got pregnant, you all treated me like I was dirt. You wouldn't even talk to me.
It is.
And so I had no friends on the night I graduated, and the boy they made me marry would not take me to prom. His daddy said, "You deserve a prom. You're a straight A student." His father took me to my prom. None of the boys danced with me, though. So I just sat there. So, I mean, I've had a hard life, and you can't tell me about trouble. You can't tell me about isolation.
Mhm.
And I've always been an extrovert, an outgoing person.
Mhm.
And as I say, and I don't meet strangers. And I do
No,
my
I'm like
best
that too.
to help everybody because I've been there. I know what it's like to grow up without friends, to grow up in the community where I can't do what all my peers are doing. Mama Hattie meant well. And long as I was with her, I didn't get pregnant. And I wouldn't have gotten pregnant.
Mhm.
But I got away. She let me go. And I had a ball that night.
You know, it's, I'm laughing because
I
I
didn't
know you for
blame you.
all these
I said, "You
years.
don't know me."
Oh my goodness, but all this is so funny because we've all been at some point where it's like, ooh wee, whether it's getting pregnant, whether you done got busted at the club, whether you,
Right.
because money, I used to get it, and I used to be, when I was talking to Tarsan the other day, we were talking because they were watching us, and they'd always tell. And we come down from CU Boulder. Oh, they used to have that express bus.
Mhm.
Me and Vivian, we go to Mr. Lucky's
Hey,
or
Miss
Yellow
Vivian.
Pages. Honey, and they get back and I get back. I heard you and Vivian, y'all was at Yellow Pages. Oh, y'all was fat and I used to dance to Ring My Bell.
Yeah.
And we in
And you
there
know, my
just fat.
brother, what you don't know, Ring My Bell is
Uh-huh.
written and produced by my brother, Frederick Knight
Oh my good.
Jr.
Ooh, that
He
was a
paid
jam.
Miss Bell $200 to sing his song.
Ooh,
Yeah.
you can
Frederick
ring
Knight
my
Jr.
bell.
That is my brother.
Oh, that was the jam, girl.
He
But
sang
okay.
himself, though. The
Oh,
first song he sang that became a real hit when he was with Stax is a song called "I've Been Lonely." 'Cause I've been lonely for so long. Don't seem like
sing
happiness.
it, suck it
And you
now.
remember then it goes, "Won't somebody help me, please?" That's my baby brother.
Oh
And
my
he still lives
goodness.
in Jackson, Mississippi, and he's still producing at Malaco Records.
That's
I come
awesome.
from a
Well, you
musical
got a
family.
history. You have
I
a
just
history.
wasn't raised in it, but my
Yeah.
family is musical.
If you could regret anything looking back,
Mhm,
what would be the most powerful
mhm,
regret that you could say, Lord,
mhm.
why did I go there? Why did I? What would it be?
Wanting to be accepted by a little boy
Hmm.
that was just that, a
Hmm.
boy. My life took a complete turn trying to be popular
Hmm.
with a boy. And like
Hmm.
he made it very clear, hey, I'm not trying to get married. His parents said, but you're getting married
Hmm.
because you made a baby.
Shotgun wedding, they call it.
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
And I mean, I found out, my mother found out Friday, I was married Tuesday. Interesting enough, Condoleezza Rice's father married me.
Lord.
He was from Alabama. He ended up here in Denver at the University of Denver.
Now,
But
how long were
Pastor
you all
Rice,
together when y'all married? How long did that last? You
we got
find
married Memorial Day. And he told me every day he did not want to be married, and his girlfriend would pick him up. I had to go live with his parents and him. And his girlfriend picked him up every morning, the other girl who wasn't pregnant. She picked him up every morning. And so July 4th, I was on a train going to Omaha, Nebraska, where my father lived.
Mhm.
I didn't tell my father I was pregnant.
Okay.
He had told me, when you graduate high school, I'm gonna give you a 2-week vacation. Now, this is my father. I'm
Mhm.
gonna get 2 weeks with him.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I didn't. I said, "Okay." I sent him my diploma and my grades. I was a straight A student.
Mm.
I didn't send him the fact that I was pregnant.
Okay.
So, he was working for Union Pacific. He sent me that train ticket, and I went to Omaha, Nebraska, and never looked
Never
back.
look back.
No. But
Yeah.
that's what I regret, and I will say to any young girl, don't give the best of you to an undeserving person.
Come on.
In my case, it was a boy and sex. To somebody else, it may be something else.
Mhm.
But stay focused on what your dreams are and keep the best of you
Mhm.
for the time when you are successful.
Mhm.
Don't shortchange yourself because I never got to Hollywood.
Mm.
And now my daughter, I wouldn't trade her for a gazillion
Yeah,
dollars,
that's my girl.
but it took my life in a total different path.
Mhm.
And I have 4 children. You know them. Shavash and Maxie. My oldest son is Andre Morgan, and he too is in the music business, but
Mhm.
to pay the bills, or he graduated from University of Northern Colorado in the School of Art.
Mhm.
And so he ended up on Broadway in New York. I am blessed. And Melody, most people know Melody.
Oh, she could do some
Privilege.
Mahalia Jackson.
Yes, yes. And my son, Ramon
My
Morgan,
buddy Jackson.
and everybody still, a lot of people that went to school with him still call him Freddie
Mhm.
because that was my father's name. And my father said, I want that boy named after me.
Mhm.
And so my father nicknamed him that, but his name is Ramon. And you might notice a pattern. I named my oldest child Cherie Avant,
Okay.
Andre Lamar, Melody Renique, Ramon Fredericus. I didn't
Okay.
want my children to have names like Jezebel
Mhm.
with people I grew up with
Mhm.
because that way they look at your name and you get file 13. They know who you are.
Mhm.
And you never get to the interview and you don't know why.
Oh yeah, yeah. That
So I
makes sense.
gave my children names so you could not determine their ethnicity. I did it with them. I'm the mother of 5 children.
Mhm.
I lost my middle child, the 3rd child, after he was born. He died at 36 hours.
Okay.
I named him Oscar Morgan the 3rd.
Mhm.
Reverend Morgan was a junior, so I named him Oscar Morgan the 3rd, but he was already deceased.
Mhm.
Otherwise, I would have given him another name
Mhm.
that you could not tell who he was.
Mhm.
But life has been good. And as I say, when I look at you and then I look around and I see women, Kamala Harris
Mhm.
didn't make it, but those seeds were planted.
Mhm.
And some other woman is going to make it
Mhm.
to be president of the United States. Likewise, the Greater Metro Denver Ministerial Alliance, 85 years old, an organization formed to be gathering place for senior pastors
Mhm.
and other members of the clergy. But they never had a woman like
Mhm.
in churches. A lot of churches in Denver still will not have a woman pastor,
Mhm.
still won't have women deacons. But God is still moving
Come on.
because when he came out of that tomb,
Mhm.
the women were there.
That's true.
He has always had a place
That's
for
true.
us. And it's taken a long time to get where we're going,
Mhm.
but we're on the move. And I look at little girls and I say, baby, you're going to be somebody.
Mhm.
You know, we have to encourage and implant desire so that girls don't think I got to get pregnant by a boy to be something,
Mhm.
so that they understand all that you need, God has already put it in you. You don't have to sell yourself short listening to somebody. And as we said earlier, when you listen to him and he beats you or whatever's going on, you knew he was a snake when you got him.
Mhm. Mhm.
But
I
you
ain't had nobody
cannot
beat me
change.
because somebody would. Then let me shut it. No, I'm
But
kidding.
there are a lot of
I
women.
know. I
They are
know.
locked in.
But
They have a lot of babies
I know.
and they don't have a job.
But wait a minute. So you remember when a year older than me? But remember that I want to have his baby. He sure is fine.
Yes.
But Michael said it's like a Chihuahua with a Doberman Pinscher. You got to watch what you mixing because that DNA, no matter what you try to cover, is still there.
It's there.
So you got a Chihuahua. You got a Chihuahua.
You got to
and
mix that puppy when he's
you
born.
listen,
Okay.
ready to tear up everything.
Right.
So
Right.
well,
I want to, I can't let you in without complimenting Pastor Odie Kennedy.
Yes, go ahead.
She is the first president of the Greater Metro Denver Ministerial Alliance, and Lord, is that woman a
She's beautiful.
leader.
I love her. I love
She
her.
is built for this job
She is.
and
She is.
should have had this job. I remember when her husband died and she took over the church, and I remember people were saying she's shepherdess, and I kept saying, she's doing what any other pastor does. She's a pastor. I remember Pastor Deborah Clay, Pastor Sandra Powell, Pastor Angela Faison.
Yeah.
I'm just excited
I'm telling you.
about what you all are doing.
Telling you.
And I remember Reverend Veda Patterson. You know, I like to call the names.
Oh,
of the
yeah.
people
She
that
was so cool.
opened
Yeah.
doors.
She was awesome.
And a lot of people today think that because they're so cute or they're so educated, that this is why they're where they are. No. Somebody paid a price for you to be there. And Odie Kennedy, beautiful, educated, a leader.
Quiet,
She is
class act.
class act. And the Greater Metro Denver Ministerial Alliance is doing great things
Good.
under her leadership. They just had a big Thanksgiving Day worship. It was awesome.
Okay.
And now they are preparing for the annual Martin Luther King Day worship. They are joining with organizations like the Martin Luther King Jr. Commission. This is something they do every year. And the Alliance is a gathering for senior pastors to come together and share ideas. Everybody is still an autonomous pastor, independent, but they come together to address issues that impact the Black culture and the Black community. They teach things, voter education, but they also address economic issues, human and civil rights issues, and the things we're talking about now. What I know, I didn't get it in college. The majority of things I know for sure that have made a difference in my life, I learned them in Sunday school and the Baptist Training Union. And so for 55 years, I have been presenting the Colorado Gospel Music Academy and Hall of
It's
Fame.
been awesome.
55 years. Even during the pandemic, God blessed me with Brother Paul Simmons.
That's my
Simmons.
baby.
Yes. with
I him
Simmons
and my
of-
Ashley.
Yes. He and Amber, they do such wonderful things. And Evangelist Marion Boston, even during the
My girl.
pandemic, they produced my program, and I was able to have Evangelist Shirley Caesar, many of the greats, apart. We videotaped it because we couldn't gather. But even that year, we did not miss it. And so February 15th, I'm excited. We used to do the program the second Sunday, but after COVID, the NFL moved Super Bowl from the first Sunday of February to the second Sunday of February. And while I love the Lord, I'm not stupid. I'm just saved. And I know people want to see the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I had to move to the third Sunday.
That's all right.
So now we're on the third Sunday of February every year. This is February 15th. And I'm grateful for 25 years. McDonald, the owners and operators in the Rocky Mountain region, they have helped to co-sponsor my program. But the pastors, the organizations, the businesses, the community, they helped me because the first year they tried to have an appreciation for me over at Union Baptist Church when it was at 31st and Humboldt. And I sat up there in that church in that chair with the flowers behind me and all. And I thought, I'm not comfortable with this. So I told them, I said, I thank you all for honoring me. But we did this one year. I said, but let's honor you the next year. I said, because I'm blessed to be on the radio and I get honors in the fact that I sing. I'm at all the churches singing and speaking. I get acclaim. But there are ladies in the back frying chicken.
Mhm.
Nobody ever thinks of them.
Mhm.
And I said, I want to honor the unsung
Mhm.
sheroes and heroes.
Mhm.
And God bless me. He honored my dream and He's allowed me to do that now for 55 consecutive years. I used to bring James Cleveland to town, Shirley Caesar, Jesse Dixon, the
Mhm.
caravans,
Mhm.
and now I'm able to still bring out of state guests, but I'm also able to showcase Denver's best. We've got
Amen.
great talent here. And not only in music, I like to find the lady that nobody's ever heard of.
Mhm.
But every Sunday she shows up, she gets there and opens the church door
Mhm.
and makes sure the pastor's picture has what he likes in
Mhm.
it,
Mhm.
if it's soda or if it's
Mhm.
coffee,
Mhm. Mhm.
she makes sure his robe gets to the cleaner.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Oh
these are the
yeah.
people that make the church work.
Yes. Yes.
And out in the community, they don't have children, but they babysit for the
Yeah.
neighborhood.
Yeah.
These are the people
Yeah.
that we get to honor every year. You have to
Well.
be honored. You have to have served in a capacity for 3 years
Mhm.
doing something. You can't be a one night wonder. You have to consistently do it for 3 years
Mhm.
to get one of our awards.
Yeah, and they're beautiful awards, and I just commend you. I have to wind down and giving me my time, but I thank you. I thank you. This has
It's
been
my joy
so
to serve.
real, and just you have me laughing. So, because I have you laughing too,
Yes,
but you have me laughing, and I just love you and thank you for
I
who you
adore
are.
you.
Thank you for being the woman, the historian, the woman that knows what she's talking about. She didn't learn by just playing.
Oh, no.
Experience is the best teacher. And so you've done that. So I just want to say thank you.
It's
I
a joy to
love
be with
you.
you.
Yo,
And I keep
man.
telling you, you have no idea. See, years ago, you didn't think you'd have podcasts. Years ago, you didn't think you'd be on the radio,
Facebook either.
Facebook.
Uh,
Everybody can get on Facebook. But everybody can't have their own radio program.
That's true.
Everybody can't have their own
That's
podcast.
true.
Everybody can't have a business like you have.
Yeah. Taylor Funeral Home. I got to
So,
put that out there.
yes.
Yes,
So I
ma'am.
am saying, be encouraged.
Thank you.
Keep your eyes looking up and
Yes.
forward. That's why in your car, your rear mirror is this size. The mirror in front of you, I mean, the windshield is
Mm-hmm.
that big
Mm-hmm.
because you're going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about what's in this little thing.
Okay.
Don't worry about little people thinking little thoughts
Okay.
on a little journey.
Oh, I appreciate you.
Keep your eyes on God
Mhm.
and walk into the glory He has for you.
Yes.
Because you don't have to be jealous of
Mm-mm.
anybody.
Mm-mm.
As my stepfather said, and he pastored the church, he always said, people dying now who ain't never
Yeah.
died
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
There will always be enough dead people to
Yeah.
support everybody.
It is. So I'm not hating who God has for me. It's for me.
That's it.
I can't dog anybody and do anything. I do what I
But thank God we
so
have our talent
I'm
here
telling you, we
in
do.
Denver. You pick a field,
Yeah,
and we've got somebody
we do.
black who
We
can
do.
do it and do it well.
We do.
Is doing it.
They're doing. But I do want to say this before my close. My team, I just love my babies now. They just be helping and we growing. I told them just hang on in there. Right now we on the gravel road, but before it's here, we're gonna be in the trees looking down.
No,
Just
you're
praise
above the
God.
trees. You're going to be in sky and stratosphere.
Oh my goodness.
Do not be limiting yourself to the
Oh, that's right.
trees.
Well, the trees was fine. That's
No,
you.
no, 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 no.
You had that big atlas, big world, and
If you aim for the moon and you end up with stars, you're okay. But never
well,
the
you got some
treetop.
tidbits. You
Never
do.
the treetop.
You do. I love it.
I love that cup.
And this is real.
May I hold it for you while you talk about it?
That's
It's
Lequita
gorgeous.
Taylor, real talk with Lequita Taylor, and that picture was taken. We did a service for Michael Hancock's family for his mother. It was at New Hope, and that's where that picture came from.
And I was there.
Well, you were, and so I'm just honoring my team. They're just plotting, not plotting, but Paul and Ashley and even Marion. I thank God because we have only just begun and we're making it. And
May I please?
Yes.
You all want one of these. You can put your coffee, your tea, your Pepsi. How about a little water so you don't end up a customer? You can have one of these. And she told me that the first 100 people that call her at the mortuary or check on the website. And the website is Real Talk with LaquitaTaylor.com. Real Talk with LaquitaTaylor.com. But if you don't know how to spell that, you go to Taylor Mortuary and you can have one of these. She told me that she's only allowing 4 cups per order, and they are $12 now because they're new. Down the road, they're going to cost a lot more. So I bought one, and I encourage you to do the same. It's beautiful. And it's not that you don't have anything to drink out of at home. It's the fact that you are supporting. The love and support. Because you know nothing in life that's good is free. But God.
And I bless you. So contact me 303-344-1615 at the funeral home. Leave a message. Tell Sister Taylor, give me a call. Off of Real Tongue. I'm looking at these cups are wonderful. They're not no cheap cups. You know, you go to Dre some and they shatter and all that mess. And these is real. The Real Talk with my team now, they don't play. So I thank God for y'all doing it. I'm just so excited. Syl, thank you. What better one to have you on my show today?
It is my joy to be here. It is my joy.
You know that song, Fill My Cup, Let It Overflow.
No, it's fill my cup, Lord. Fill it up, Lord. Come in. Okay, I told you I don't sing anymore. But I'm like a racehorse. Don't start me.
Well, you all, we're going to say goodnight. Again, I thank you all. Thank you for being with me, Lequita Taylor, with Real Talk with me. Well, let me do it right. YouTube, Real Talk with Lequita Taylor now. Also, we're on Apple and Amazon and Heart Radio. I'm on the radio, Let Go, Let God. God is doing some things when you trust in it. He'll open doors I never even could imagine.
Mhm.
So again, good night. We love you. And thanks again for being with myself and Dr. Syl Smith.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night, you all. I love you. Talk to you next week. Bye bye.